loves, I'm back with another review. Today I'm going to be reviewing, testing, and demoing out the new L'Oreal Infallible Total Coverage Foundation. I looked high and low the minute that I saw that this foundation came out because I love my True Match, I love my Lumi, I love the cushion. Those are all L'Oreal foundations. I truly love L'Oreal foundations. I feel like they're probably one of the best drugstore foundations. I did test out the, the matte, Pro Matte I believe. I also tested out the Pro Glow. The Pro Matte was the wrong shade for me and it was too matte. I'm not an oily person, so I really never cared to get another shade to make sure that it matched. I kind of gave up on it. The Pro Glow I actually was super hopeful for, thinking that because I love the dew and I love the glow, because I'm more of a normal skin girl, so I was hoping that it was going to give me like this beautiful glowy look. But I didn't really care for the foundation. I do have a review for it. If you guys want to see it, I'll link it down below. I just felt like it emphasized all my blemishes, especially the pores, and I just didn't see like anything to wow about. So when I saw that there was going to be a total coverage, I was like, please let this, you know, be the one. They say third time's the charm. So I stalked the freaking stores. I kid you not. You know when you go, I don't know if it's everybody that does this or feels this way, but I sure do. I'll like walk into Walgreens. I usually walk in and the makeup's right there. I go look, and I walk out, and I feel like, because I walk in and out so quick because I know where to look, I feel like they think that I'm like shoplifting or something. Like, do you guys ever get that feeling if you're like a makeup stalker like myself? So I'm always like, oh my god, I hope they don't think I'm freaking stealing stuff, because I walk in, and I'm out. I finally found them, and I actually found 305 first, and 2 days later at Ulta I found 308. Luster Luxe, which is Katie, she actually found these at Bed Bath & Beyond, and I believe she bought all of them, or at least almost all of them, and she swatched them, and she said that the most yellow undertoned one was 305. Thankfully I watched her video, because I never would have been able to tell, because you literally have like this little line down here to kind of peek through and see what color the foundation is, because the tube, usually you could see through it, but the tube is actually a sticker. This is not the color of the foundation. They kind of go, you know, in different, as you guys can see, these are different, you know, shades, but the color that you see on the tube is not the color that's in the foundation. It's a little lighter, so make sure that you guys check right where the cap and the sticker meet. You guys can see, I mean, you could be a little ghetto like myself and just bust it open, which you're not supposed to do, but I did it. The first thing that I noticed that was different between this new tube and this tube is that it's a lot slimmer. As you guys can see, it's a little taller, but this one's a little thicker than this one. You still get the same amount, 1 full ounce in there. The foundation is $12.99. I believe it was $12.99 at Ulta and $12.99 at Walgreens, because I bought one of each at a separate location. And usually, you know, CVS and Walgreens, they always jack up the prices, but I think it was the same price. It starts off at Classic, Ivory, all the way to Cocoa. There's 12 shades. I wish that L'Oreal would do the same thing that they do with the undertones of the L'Oreal True Match. They have the 3 undertones. They have your cool, they have your neutral, and your warm. I feel like if they have a permanent foundation that's not like a limited edition, I feel like they need to throw those 3 shades, like undertone shades in there. It would be so helpful for us, you know, because we have different undertones. Sometimes we have to mix and match. Sometimes we're a little more tan, but we still got the, you know, yellow undertone over our fake, you know, tan that we got going. So L'Oreal, please, if you watch this, or somebody, please kind of think about that idea, because I feel like it would be a lot of help for, you know, people that want to buy your foundations like myself. So I tested both foundations out, and immediately I noticed that the 305 was more yellow undertone. I feel like the 308 has more of like a gray ashy undertone. It was really weird. So my first impression when I put it onto my hand and I blended it in was that it was like a moussey texture, but it was soft and it was so thin. Once it blended onto my skin, it was like weightless. It does say it's like light feather weightless or something like that. It does feel weightless. Like I was looking at my hand like, where did it go? It wasn't like tacky, it wasn't sticky, it didn't like look patchy or anything like that. It blended really light and good into my skin. So I went ahead and I applied it to my whole face, and when it first went onto my face, I was like, I don't know. I was a little weary about it. I just felt like it made me look a little ashy. Now, I did hear in a lot of reviews that people that had dry skin or dry patches that this was going to be a bad idea. So I am a little dry in certain areas right now. So I was like looking and I was like, all right, where am I dry? Is it clinging onto those dry patches? And I didn't notice it too much. So I went ahead, did my concealer, then I did my makeup, and about 15-20 minutes later, I noticed that the foundation did oxidize slightly, not like a big change, but not so much as in like color. I mean, the color does change a small tad, itty bitty amount, but I noticed that it just settled into my skin, like the warmth of my skin and my oils or something just made the foundation just look a lot better versus when I first applied it to my face. You guys will see that when I do the demo that it kind of looks blah, like plain, like nothing so fancy about it, but now that it's on my face, it looks smooth, it looks a little more warm. Give it about 15 or 20 minutes or after you're done with your whole other makeup, it looks a lot better. Keep that in mind when you first apply the foundation. I was surprised because when I first tried it on, I was like, but then, you know, when I did everything, it looked a lot better. I was a little more pleased than when I first did. So I wore it 3 days, and yesterday I put it on around 11:30 and it came off of my face at about 1 o'clock in the morning. So I wore it well over 12 hours, and I noticed that I get a little T-zone oil with this foundation, and I was concerned about it because it's more of a, I would say it's like a satin finish. I wouldn't say matte or glowy. It's a very light satin, natural satin look is the finish that you get out of it. So I noticed that I did get a little T-zone oil, which I was surprised because I would only get that with a glowy or dewy foundation. It really works great with the rest of your makeup. Everything else blends on there because sometimes you could get a little patchy or things shift around. And I noticed that the foundation actually wore really good throughout the day. It kept up really well. I wouldn't say that it lasts too long because the foundation is so light that I just feel like it kind of rubs off a little bit, not too much. Now keep in mind I did not set it with any powders. If you are oily, you might want to set this, but I just feel like you would get a good 8 hours, like a good 8-hour wear. After that, I feel like it might start to break apart or kind of start to wear off a little bit. So I would say a good 8 hours. I don't know anybody that would wear this for 24 hours, obviously. Foundation does claim to be a 24-hour total coverage. On the back, it says that the finish is supposed to be natural, which I agree. The wear, it says up to 24 hours. I would disagree. Maybe if I built it a little more and I set it with powder, it would last a lot longer, but I'm a little dry at the moment, so I normally don't even powder my whole face. I don't think I set my face. I think I only set my concealer sometimes, and maybe the T-zone right where my wrinkles are right here, but I never set my face. And then it says that the coverage is high. I don't think it's high coverage, even though you do see that it does do some good coverage. I would say it's more of like a medium, and it is buildable. You guys will also see in the demo that I'm going to show you that you do a layer and then you could do another layer, and it does build. I think you could get away with doing 3 layers, but you've got to do them one at a time. Don't go in with a whole bunch of foundation and then just expect it to blend good. I feel like you have to go in light and then go in with another light coat, and then maybe the third would be like touch up blemishes or scars or anything that you're trying to cover. And another thing that I notice is I normally use a beauty blender and a brush when I test out foundations. I did not want to use a beauty blender because the texture is so soft and lightweight. I feel like the damp beauty blender was going to pull some of that product off, because you know the damp beauty blender will take some of that product and absorb it into the beauty blender and take it off of your face. So I didn't even try, because when I grabbed it and I tested on my face, I'm like, okay, this is not a beauty blender foundation. So what I did use was the e.l.f. ultimate blending brush or a flat top, I feel like a little brush like this, and this is an amazing brush, I feel like a brush like this is good because I have to buff the foundation. It's not a soft foundation, but it's not a runny foundation, but you do need to buff it in. I don't know, you could try it with the beauty blender. I just felt like you needed a brush. And then lastly, it says that the texture is air light. It's very air light. So overall, I do like the foundation. I don't think a foundation has ever thrown me off like this has, because normally I put it on, I'm like, I don't like, I can kind of feel it out. Normally I know right off the bat if I'm going to like something. This one threw me off though, because when I first put it on, I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. Then I loved it once it's set. It's a very different foundation, which is weird because I normally try everything out there and I'm like, oh, okay, this is kind of like this or that. I like the foundation. I would give it maybe a 7 out of a 10. And I would recommend it. I don't know that this is a holy grail for me, like oh my god, but it's a really good foundation. It's just so different that I'm kind of like on the fence about it. I'm just like, there's something about it. I think what scares me is the fact that when I put it on, I'm like, it looks a little weird, but then when it blends onto my face and everything kind of like, you know, starts working together, it just looks a lot better. Let me show you that demo really quick of me applying this side by side so you guys could check it out. Other than that, that's going to be it for this video. But don't forget to follow me on Instagram, Snapchat at the one and only Maria. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think about this foundation if you tried it out down below. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Bye. So here I am just using natural lighting. As you guys can see, it's a bare face. I'm using the shade 305 and this e.l.f. buffing brush. It does come with this little squeeze tube and that's what it looks like. Then I just blend it in with my finger. I just dotted on one side of the face, and as you guys can see, it looks a little darker than my skin tone, but I am a little lighter in the face than the rest of my body. So I just go ahead and buff a thin layer all over one side. Here you guys are going to see right there I have like my little visible freckles, and over here you can't see them. So next I'm going to go in with a second layer, and I'm just going to do the same thing, dot it on my face, and then I'm just going to take the same buffing brush and blend it throughout the whole face. Make sure you guys bring it down to your neck too. And as you guys can see here, I have 2 thin layers. You can see the difference because you can see freckles on one side. Now I'm just going to finish the rest of my face so that you guys can see what it looks like all over the face when it's 2 layers and then a couple touch-ups. So this is what it looks like. I do look super pale, but here next in this clip you'll see what it looks like once it's set into the face and with makeup.